welcome to another virtual tasting, our sixth virtual tasting, and we're doing another session on rosés. Rosé is a style of wine which is not as heavy as a red, but not as light as a white. It's practically made by taking red grapes and fermenting, doing a skin contact for less time. And by doing that, you've got a refreshing, easy drinking style of wine. And as we were saying, you get a mix of both the good things in a white and the interesting parts of a red wine, having this nice balance between both. For today, we have a wine from Gozo, we've got Odyssey Rosé, and we have a wine from Chile. We have Santa Rita 120 Rosé. Two interesting wines, and we'll see how they compare together. Should be interesting. Let's go to our wine from Gozo. As we said before, this is the Odyssey, which is part of the Odyssey Ulysses range. I would say that Gozitan wine was always a bit special, and there's got this unique microclimate, which I think makes it very favorable for the growing of grapes and ultimately producing great wines of all varieties. So, back to our wine. On the color, as we were saying, quite a light color, youthful, not very heavy. Rosés tend to go from a light red rosé color, light pink, going on to a slight salmon orange color as they age. And as they go along, they tend to get darker. And this is the spectrum of colors in terms of rosé. In this case, as we were saying, it's on the younger, youthful nature, but let's see how it smells. Very much on the red fruit nature, quite a steady profile on the fruit with no oak elements, but just pure fresh red fruits, maybe a raspberry, like a raspberry cherry smell, which is really, really engulfing, I would say, really, really a beautiful smell. On the palate, a nice richness on the palate, again, very nice red fruit, not heavy at all, very nicely balanced, with not too dry, not too a dry style. Very, I would say, a lot of rosés are in this style. They're not too dry, but still can take a good amount of variety of food, since it has a good crispiness, a good acidity, to keep it going forward for a good amount of time. Very nice, enjoyable rosé. So let's go and taste our Chilean rosé. In this case we have Santa Rita 120 Reserva Especial, and the grape is Cabernet Sauvignon. Chile tends to use more Syrah and Cabernet Sauvignon as grapes. They tend to be more full-bodied, giving more a structure. Whether they were red wines, even when producing rosé, the flavors come out. Maybe more subdued, maybe a little bit more subtle, but we'll see that when we taste the wine. On the looks, the color is a bit more of a salmon color, slightly copper, slightly different than the previous one. The other one was more of a red, more bright red rosé color. On the nose, it's got more of a citrus nature in this case. Again, sometimes rosés have these flavors which are complementary with some white wines, which are similar to white wine smells, but a little bit more on the red fruit as well. And there are also some red fruits, but maybe more on cherry, a little bit sharp, a little bit more acidic fruit. The palate is slightly drier, but still some good elements of fruit, very similar to the nose. A little bit on the citrus and a little bit on the red fruit, but a little bit more structure, maybe a little bit more body. This is a drier style of rosé, maybe going more with some white meats, grilled chicken, than the Odyssey. Maybe the Odyssey can be a little bit more versatile in style, but still an interesting rosé. Thanks again for joining us. May I remind you that we do free deliveries over 30 euros all over the island. The website is www.themasterseller.com. Thank you very much and see you next week.